It took Kushner and Witkoff to say on behalf of the president that we assure you that will not happen. In the end, is Jared Kushner the person we should thank for this moment?
Well, Jared definitely played a significant role, that's for sure. And I can tell you, through my experience in government and also now, the value of outside players can be very significant. Yes. So I without a doubt, from everybody I speak to and everything I know, he played a very heavy role in pushing this deal across the finish line. He obviously has a lot of relationships and contacts in the Middle East. He remains through his businesses and so on.
Sunday's a big day in the Middle East. In fact, we are keeping an eye on the podium in Egypt right now, where President Trump is expected to speak any minute. We'll bring you a special report when that happens. Within the last hour, the president meeting with Arab leaders who he says are crucial to ensuring lasting peace in the region. Mr. Trump was in Israel earlier today to watch the first phase of the peace deal play out and urge Israel's parliament to unite now that the war is over.
People are dancing in the streets, not just in Israel. They're dancing in the streets of countries that would have never danced in the street about what's happening today. Together, we've shown that peace is not just a hope that we can dream about. It's a reality we can build upon day by day, person by person, and nation by nation.
But as a giant of Jewish history, one for whom we must look back 2.5 millennia into the mists of time to find a parallel, Cyrus the Great. You, President Donald J. Trump, are a colossus who will be enshrined in the pantheon of history. Thousands of years from now, Mr. President, the Jewish people will remember you. We are a nation that remembers.
ذكرت له ذلك بدر، قلت له فقدت الرئيس أنت وحدك القادر على تحقيق السلام في منطقتنا.
I even said that very precisely during my communication with Your Excellency, that you are the only one who is able to bring about peace and to achieve peace in this part.
All the momentum now is toward a great, glorious, and lasting peace. And our commitment to fulfilling the 20-point plan we developed together will be the crucial foundation for achieving that bright future, and it's being worked on right now as we speak, and we're actually in stage 3 and 4. It's not going to be, just divided down so simply. We can be long advanced on some of the things that we say we're going to do. We can take them out of order in a positive way, and we've shown how it can be done with responsible nations like the people in this room, these incredible people in this room, setting aside their differences, seeking common ground, and pursuing a better world for all of us. And that spirit's my dream, that we all get together and enjoy our life. And we're going to put some of you on the Board of Peace. Everybody wants to be on the Board of Peace. They said, would you be the chairman? I say, I'm pretty busy too. But whatever we can do to have peace in the Middle East, it's worth it. But everybody wants to go on the Board of Peace, so we're probably going to enlarge it. We're going to get, and the leaders, the top people, the top leaders, they want to be on the Board of Peace. A beautiful term. At first I wasn't sure, and then I realized how beautiful it is.
I'm so glad that you're with us of all days. I don't even want to start with a question for you other than, what are you thinking right now?
Oh my gosh, I'm overjoyed. I feel a sense of relief, and I feel a sense of, by the way, immense pride to see the United States and President Trump really be the leader in brokering this deal. That's the role the United States often plays in bringing an end to war. I do believe that this is an end to the war. Might not necessarily mean an end to conflict sometimes, but it's a significant step. Seeing those hostages being released and reunited with their families gives me goosebumps.
Remarkable. Well, your energy is contagious. So from here, how do the parties who we just saw celebrating this moment make this a lasting peace? How do you get through the second phase?
Sure. I don't want to underestimate the importance of having all of those leaders that we saw standing behind President Trump. And it's not just regional leaders. You had leaders from around the world. You even had the UN Secretary General, who President Trump has attacked numerous times.
That's right.
Everybody coming together for this. And that speaks volumes. But also the fact is that there were a lot of factors here that brought us to this day in a way that none of us could have foreseen.
But right now is a moment where you have so much hope and optimism, and you just hope that they can grab it, both for Israel, for the region, for the Palestinians, and all of these things that have been broken and burst over the last few decades and even perhaps centuries.
Absolutely. And Trey, you had the opportunity to speak with President Trump earlier. This was a big moment in the celebrations today when Benjamin Netanyahu thanked President Trump. This is call for 3, guys, if we have it teed up. Okay, let me just read it to you directly, Trey. Donald Trump is the greatest friend that the state of Israel has ever had in the White House. Mr. President, you are committed to this peace. I am committed to this peace. And together, Mr. President, we will achieve this peace. Give us your thoughts, Trey, after speaking to the president earlier.
Yeah, Sandra, I spoke with President Trump earlier today, and what stood out to me is how much he actually cares about the region and the people here. This is the most powerful man in the world, and yet he purposefully delayed his schedule so he could spend more time with the families of hostages and hostages who had been freed in previous deals that he supported. And when you think about what this means, it means that you have a leader who is looking toward the future with an understanding of the realities on the ground. And those realities are that Israel is a population of nearly 10 million people. The Gaza Strip is a population of more than 2 million people. And the president has a vision for a future of the Middle East that would not have all of the violence and war that has ravished the Middle East for the past 2 years, as we've seen inside the Gaza Strip with the death and destruction following a horrific massacre on October 7th. And so this really does feel like a moment of change for the Middle East, an opportunity for countries around the world to come together. And the president, in his remarks at the Israeli Knesset, made that very point. He said from cities and states around the world that people should come together. And he almost alluded at the fact that there are going to be more normalization deals brokered by the Trump administration with countries like Indonesia, for example, or countries like Iraq even, or Syria, possibly Lebanon. He even extended an olive branch to Iran, a country that he targeted with airstrikes over the summer to stop the country from developing its nuclear program and going after a nuclear bomb. The bottom line here is that this president is looking for peace, and he capitalized on this with this meeting in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, bringing together these world leaders that have the money and influence to actually get it done in the region. Because while the president wants to usher in this new chapter, he's made very clear he doesn't want U.S. boots on the ground inside Gaza. He's willing to have CENTCOM forces in an advisory role to ensure that this peace plan moves forward. But this is a regional plan that ultimately could lead to prosperity and stability across the Middle East, something the region has not seen in decades.
President Trump, can you tell us when phase 2 of the negotiations will begin?
Well, it started. It started as far as we're concerned. Phase 2 has started. And, the phases are all a little bit mixed in with each other. They're going to start cleaning up. You look at Gaza, and it needs a lot of cleanup. That's why when I talked in my speech, I talked about the debris. I used the word debris. That's debris times 10. So, but they're gonna really do a job. They have a lot of power. In another room, you have some of the wealthiest nations in the world. All leaders, the big leaders are here. The emirs and the kings and everybody, and it's a very interesting group. I guess we have like 35 countries, and that's only because they were the 35 that we invited. Everybody that we invited came. So there's a lot of respect, and I think you'll see some tremendous progress. I want to express my tremendous gratitude to the Arab and Muslim nations who helped make this incredible breakthrough possible, and you really did. To President el-Sisi of Egypt, who is so generously hosting us today, and I want to thank you for the outstanding job your country is doing in so many different ways, and for helping us so much with this peace agreement.